I think it's the most insulting article I've ever had written. And if you read the article, you'd see that they found absolutely nothing. It's called the Failing New York Times for a reason.
That was President Trump slamming the New York Times over claims he was probed by the FBI for being a Russian agent. In a new op-ed, Newt Gingrich taking issue with the investigation, saying, quote, President Trump was not betraying the Constitution. There's no evidence he ever considered betraying his country for the Russians. It is the Justice Department bureaucrats who've been betraying the Constitution, in a Fox News opinion piece. Well, let's ask Fox News contributor and former Assistant U.S. Attorney Andrew McCarthy. Andrew, thanks for being here this morning. You see the former speaker's analysis. Where does the justification for opening an FBI probe on the sitting president being a Russian agent, where does that come from?
Well, Pete, I really think that the investigation was about Trump from the beginning, from the time that they started poking around during the 2016 campaign. I really don't know. I guess maybe I've been looking at this too closely for the last couple of years, but I'm kind of surprised that people are whipped up about the New York Times report, because it suggests to me that the only thing that happened in May 2017, after Director Comey was fired, is that the FBI and the Justice Department very rashly, in my view, thought that they finally had a crime on Trump, meaning obstruction. So they papered in their files overtly what they had been doing covertly for over a year, which is investigating Donald Trump. That's what this was all about. Remember, Pete, they believed the Steele dossier. They went to the FISA court with the allegations in the Steele dossier. If they didn't believe the dossier, they wouldn't have done that. And the dossier was about Trump. Carter Page and Paul Manafort and all these other guys, they're a side issue. That dossier is about an allegation that Donald Trump was in a corrupt conspiracy with Russia to essentially steal the election and then do Russia's bidding once he was in the White House. Now, I think that's cockamamie, but I'm not. It's irrelevant what I think. They believed it.
So they're in the middle of it. Now they finally have a justification, at least from their mind, and then they can all reverse engineer the entire thing. But how did they do that? Because Rod Rosenstein wrote the memo that President Trump, some believe used as justification to fire Jim Comey, and then they turn around and claim that's an investigatable offense?
Yeah, well, look, I think, Pete, that it's a very flawed analysis. Up till that point, what they did was they designed the investigation so that they could say they were investigating the Trump campaign or people connected to the Trump campaign, knowing that if they did that, they would potentially find what they were hoping for, which was a case on Trump. When he fired Comey, and then days later, Comey leaked that memo that said that Trump had interfered with the investigation of Flynn, I think they jumped to the conclusion that, now we have him. We actually have an obstruction case, potentially. And I think in their hot-headedness after their director was fired, they simply went overt with something that they had been doing all along. So they formally opened an investigation, but that's just a paper fact. They had been doing this for a year. Briefly,
Andy, how deliberate is this? Or are they, happening upon this because they got in so deep and don't have a way out?
Pete, look, I want to call this, remember the old Burt Lancaster, Kirk Douglas movie, 7 Days in May? I want to call this 9 Days in May, because what happens between the 9th and the 17th is Comey gets fired, that story gets leaked in the New York Times. Rosenstein starts to talk about potentially wiring up against Trump and the 25th Amendment, and then he appoints Mueller. So they thought they finally had a case they could prosecute.
Yeah, absolutely. Andy McCarthy, you've been putting it together from the beginning. Thank you for your time. We appreciate it.
Thanks, Pete.